Okay, well, it's always been hard. So let's just all breathe and continually focus on what you can control. That this is the trajectory we're going on right now, and it makes perfect sense. And we're not here because actors caused this because of the strikes instead. No, that's bullshit. I don't believe in that. We are here because studios and production companies made decisions that affected the way they did business. Actors stood up for wanting their piece of the pie, and now business models get to shift and change. That's why we're here. Hi there. I'm Jody Bentley, actor and CEO of Actor Insider and the Actor's Office. And today I want to talk about, is this industry too hard? So by now, I am assuming you've heard about or read the article that came out on Deadline about the decline of jobs in television. And I do want to know how you feel about that. So let me know in the comments below. I think there's a lot of feelings and emotions going around about that right now. And I just wanted to kind of set the record straight on a few things. Because people are saying, oh, it's too hard. Is it too hard now? There's no way I can be an actor now. This article promotes that fear-based thinking because we can't predict anything. Will it be hard? Will it get harder? We don't know. The person who wrote that article, they don't know. But what we do know is that pilot season has been dwindling every year because casting is being done year round, that it's only been the 5 major networks, right? We've known that multiple streams of income are a way to have a sustainable career as an artist and a freelancer. We've known that since 2020, the amount of TV shows every year has been declining. We've known that it's taking studios and production companies more time to get going after the strikes. It's just called doing business. They need to figure their shit out. That's what they've been doing. And look, we all know that it's also hard to be an actor. That hasn't changed. That hasn't gone away. So now we're reading all of this stuff and feeling the aftermath of the pandemic and the strikes. Now we're like, oh, now it's too hard. Okay, well, it's always been hard. So let's just all breathe and continually focus on what you can control. That this is the trajectory we're going on right now, and it makes perfect sense. And we're not here because actors caused this because of the strikes instead. No, that's bullshit. I don't believe in that. We are here because studios and production companies made decisions that affected the way they did business. Actors stood up for wanting their piece of the pie, and now business models get to shift and change. That's why we're here. So it is going to take a little bit of time to get things going in a more abundant and prolific way in terms of the amount of content. But please don't forget that films are casting, indie films are having a boom, commercials are still casting, theater is still happening, there's voiceover is still happening. The majority of my auditions thus far this year have been film and voiceover. So I just invite you to really think about how you can diversify as an actor, number one, right? That we don't want to be having all of our eggs in the TV basket because we don't know where that industry is going. Just like you don't want to have all your eggs in the film or the commercial or the theater, right? We have to diversify, have those multiple streams of income to really sustain a creative career. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. So don't feel the slowness of the industry now and read this article and go, oh, well, now it's too hard. It's always been that way. So just breathe. And some of you are saying, well, why is it's still slow? People have been talking about other strikes in our industry coming up, specifically the IATSE strike, which their contract's on up until July. Well, they are actually going to the table in March to begin the negotiations. So I am sure studios are just waiting for that to happen to suss out, feel how those things could potentially go. What I've been hearing through, my husband works at Disney. He's still been unemployed since the strikes, but he's in contact with his connections at Disney and Nickelodeon and Netflix. I did a casting director workshop. Why? We focus on what we can control, and it was with the the VP of casting at Sony, across the board. What I'm hearing is springtime is where we're going to start to see everything build back up. So my guess is April, May is that we will start to see a buildup of television again. That is exactly what we're hearing. Is even at networks like Disney and Nickelodeon, they have pilots, but they're not going to release them until spring and start doing them. And what the VP of casting said at Sony is that they have 2 shows they're casting right now, which is not a lot for Sony TV. However, she said she is so busy right now with prepping and planning for the rest of the year and into 2025. So I would just invite you, when we read things like this, and then, the comments on these articles and threads of doom and despair. And I get that it can feel that way. I get it, right? I'm not trying to deny your feelings at all. But just know that I don't lean into the fear and the fear mongering of this time. As actors, we worked hard to get where we are right now, right? The industry has worked hard to get where it is right now. And changes are going to be made. Changes are going to happen. And there's growing pains within that. And that is really what we are in right now. So my biggest advice to you is be patient, which I know is not necessarily my strongest suit, and I can bet it might not be yours as well. But we get to be patient. We get to breathe. You get to focus on multiple streams of income as an artist. What does that mean for you? And continually focus on what you can control right now. What can you control right now? How can you harness your own creativity? How can you manifest your own vision? How can you build a career that you want in spite of outside forces that are happening right now, right? So as opposed to asking, is this industry too hard? Or thinking this industry is too hard, I would invite you to reframe that into, how can I make this industry full of joy and ease? How can I have an easier time as an artist? How can I make my journey joyful? Because that is what you can control. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Again, I know there's been a lot of conversation around this, and I get it's a lot. I had high hopes coming into this year that things would go back just like that, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. So just know that, understand the reasoning behind that, and then ask yourself, but how can you move forward now? What can you do now? All right, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.